Monday, Secretary Hegseth indicated defense officials are still using Signal. What's your reaction to that?
Look, my reaction to the whole mess is it's becoming clear that Secretary Hegseth simply doesn't have the management experience to run this department. I mean, to continue to use Signal after all that has come out, look, his lack of responsiveness to all of the problems that have been arisen just makes the whole thing worse. I mean, people make mistakes in terms of sharing classified information, but for the Secretary of Defense to come out and say this was nothing classified, nothing serious, when we've all read very specifically what was in that chat, as you just described earlier, absolutely attack plans, time, place, manner, all of that being shared, clearly a mistake. And apparently Secretary Hegseth cares more about his own arrogance than he does about fixing problems. And now he's got multiple staff members having been fired, multiple staff members saying that the department is dysfunctional. It seems fairly clear that he is not up to the task of managing the Pentagon, and it jeopardizes national security and places us all at risk.
And yet it doesn't appear that his job is in any danger. The president continues supporting him, saying, quote, just ask the Houthis how he's doing, highlighting the result of those strikes in Yemen. Their approach seems to be no harm, no foul. How do you respond to that?
Well, two things. One, I want to get back to that Houthi point because that's kind of important and has kind of been lost in this whole thing. But second, look, this is the way Trump wants to run his government. He wants to run it as an authoritarian. He wants to run it based on personal loyalty to him. And Pete Hegseth has been 100% loyal to Donald Trump. This is the problem with the Trump administration. This is the problem with taking an authoritarian approach to running our government instead of obeying the Constitution and the laws of our government. It's about Trump. It's not about the American people. It's not about running our government well. So, no, I don't expect Trump to fire Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth's doing a great job for Donald Trump. He's just jeopardizing the national security of the American people, which we all ought to be concerned about. And as far as the Houthis are concerned, I was just in the Middle East for 10 days, meeting with a bunch of folks, talking about this. Yes, we have been bombing Yemen aggressively for, I haven't done the math recently, but it's like 45 days now. Houthis are still running that place. The Red Sea is still shut down. What is going on in that operation? I mean, Joe Biden bombed Yemen repeatedly without result as well. What is the actual plan in the mission that's being carried out? That's kind of been lost in all the controversy surrounding Pete Hegseth's incompetence as Secretary of Defense.
We mentioned you're on the Armed Services Committee. Republican Congressman Don Bacon, who's a retired Air Force general at this point, is the only GOP lawmaker we've heard publicly taking a stand that's critical about this so far. Here's what he said last night.
What I want to see from the secretary is to just be honest, admit you did wrong, take responsibility, and apologize, because that lets us know that you understand that was wrong. When he does not admit to it and tries to obfuscate, that further lowers his credibility on this. He's got to come clean and be honest and just take responsibility.
I'm curious, what are you hearing from Republicans behind the scenes? Do you expect more to speak out?
Similar concerns. I don't know if more will speak out, but I really want to drive home the point. In any sort of rational world that we used to living in, this is ridiculous. I mean, nobody could defend what Pete Hegseth has done. I mean, a Signal chat, including a reporter leaking war plans. He's, 3 months into the job. He's already fired all of his top staff. There is no place in the rational world where any of this is defensible by anybody. A lot of Republicans are simply hiding. But this points to what's wrong with the Trump administration across the board in all of his policies and the way he is running things. As has been said, he is president to exact vengeance on his enemies. He is president to reassert his own personal dominance, and that really undermines our country in place after place after place. You cannot defend in any rational world what Pete Hegseth has done for the last 2 months, and yet that's exactly what Trump and Vance are doing, and they're keeping him in place at great risk. And I agree with Rep. Bacon. I work with him very closely. He's a very, very good guy doing a good job. I mean, can't you just admit, okay, we made a mistake, here's what we're going to do to fix it? But again, that's not what Trump's government is about. It's not about running things well and making rational decisions. It's about Donald Trump's personal power, and we all pay a price for that approach.